Okay, hey guys, welcome to the Basketball Buzz podcast, where we talk about the latest NBA news, highlights, and overall basketball in general. Um, so yeah, here we are. My name is Yoni. Um,
Uh,
Daniel.
so yeah, we're gonna talk about basketball, talk about the NBA, and talk about weekly rumblings, I guess. So this week we have the NBA draft coming up, and it's a pretty juicy situation, right? Like we have so many teams that are looking to trade their picks, trade the assets, and I have no idea, honestly, myself, who's going to go number one, number two, number three. So what do you guys think? I don't know, like LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards. Like, what do you think should be the order of the draft?
I think Anthony Edwards is the best fit as the number one overall pick. My personal reason for that is I don't think the Timberwolves, even if they do pick LaMelo Ball, I don't think he's staying with the Timberwolves. I don't think they can have two key ball handlers, and because D'Angelo Russell is there, and if they have LaMelo Ball, it's two people who love to isolate during plays. I feel like Anthony Edwards would be a better guard if they pick a guard to draft.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. Like, I feel like they're kind of too similar. Or not Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell and LaMelo Ball. They both kind of do the same thing. Whereas I feel like Anthony Edwards is more of a shooter than LaMelo Ball, and he's like more of a shot creator, playmaker. So I think he would complement D'Lo and Cat better in that situation. But I heard that the Timberwolves are leaning towards taking LaMelo. So I don't know. Let's see. What do you think, Danny?
And there's no point of getting James Wiseman because why would you need James Wiseman if you have Cat? I mean, maybe for backup or something, but they don't need James Wiseman, and they don't need a playmaker like D'Lo. So yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing with this like draft. It's like a lot of the top three picks, like the teams they're choosing there, they already have like similar players to the options available. That's why I think guys like Denny Avdija and like Onyeka Okongwu, like more role players, those players are kind of climbing in the draft, and players like LaMelo Ball, Anthony Edwards, like ball dominant players are we have a lot of questions about them in general. So, but I think LaMelo Ball, like, he has a chance to be like really good. I don't know, like there's a lot of hype. Obviously, LeVar, like there's a lot of baggage that comes with picking up.
LaMelo, I think he's more talented than Lonzo. I think he has hype, obviously, yes, but I don't think LaMelo. I think he will live up to the hype. I think he's just a better overall player than Lonzo was in college. You could tell that based off the way he plays, and you could tell his family's learned to dealt from like the pressure and all that stuff.
Right. I mean, I don't know. It's he played pretty questionable competition in Australia. I'd say, like, I don't think like the level Lonzo was playing. It was like D1, Pac-12 athletes. Like LaMelo was playing, like I mean, the players are pretty good in Australia, but I don't know if you can compare it to the D1 leagues of America. But I do think if he's in the right situation, LaMelo Ball, that is, if like he's in Golden State where you can learn from Curry and Clay, I think that's a good like place for him. But if he goes to Minnesota where it's like two, like let's say immature players like D'Lo and Cat, that could be bad for him. So it's all about being in the right situation. So you see now Lonzo's in New Orleans, and he's like thriving. So I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that, Danny?
So the only good team that that's gonna get a good pick, like a really good pick for them, is the Hornets, and I think that because everybody in the draft basically, like the Warriors and the Timberwolves, the first two picks, that they don't like all the players, all the top three players, they basically already have them, but the Hornets they don't have any players that they don't have any players and except for PJ Washington, but he was not that good. So if they could get somebody like Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball or James Wiseman, that would be very helpful.
Right. I mean, with the Hornets, it's like they don't have any like franchise player yet, right? Like there's nobody like
Kemba left, it's over.
Curry, right? They just have like Devontae Graham and Terry Rozier as their like stars. So like they need a player who's like can be the face of a franchise.
I think if Anthony Edwards and LaMelo Ball are picked 1 and 2, the best choice for them to make is James Wiseman because they don't have a true center, and I feel like he would make a good fit for their team if he's able to follow down there.
Here's
Yeah,
my
but
question to you about Wiseman though. Like, do you
Is he
think
able to fit in today's NBA? That's the
first
question.
of all that like, but like top three, like if all you can do is which is like really important now, but like block shots and like get dunks. Is that a top three? Was that worthy of a top three pick? I don't know. Like I would rather just take Onyeka Okongwu, trade back and take Onyeka Okongwu. Like he's like a Bam Adebayo type player. I think he's actually better than James Wiseman. Like I would just go back and get him.
I think if James Wiseman can develop a three, I think he can be a deadly NBA player.
Yeah, he's got that Chris Bosh like form kind of.
but like the Warriors could also trade their pick.
Right. Like okay, so that's actually like another scenario. Like so, what do you think, Danny? If like the Warriors like trade their pick, like what do you think they're looking for in return? I think they'll trade more than just the pick. Like, they'll package Andrew Wiggins plus the pick or something. But like, what do you think
Like
that'll be?
Andrew Wiggins, maybe like the pick and maybe like Andrew Wiggins, and then they could get somebody else that's good back.
Yeah, but who do you think? Like Drew Holiday, Bradley Beal. There's a lot of options out there, but like, what do you think?
I don't know if Bradley Beal would go with. I don't know if the Wizards would go with that trade because like right now Bradley Beal is their star player because like John Wall keeps getting injured every year.
Right.
So I don't know if that would be a smart trade.
No, I agree. I mean, for the Warriors is a good trade, but I don't know. If I'm the Wizards, like I want to just try one more year, having Bradley Beal and John Wall together to see like how far can we go in the playoffs? Can we even make the playoffs? And then
Also, it would be smart for the Wizards to tank. If the Wizards could tank 1 year, they could get a good draft pick.
I'm a Wizards fan. You can see here.
I'm a Raptors fan, if you see here.
There we go. So we each have our biases. Even though you're not actually from Toronto, but we're gonna keep it on the low for now.
Went there.
They went there.
Wait. And he's a Warriors fan, and I beat you. We kicked Curry's butt, so yeah.
Hey, we didn't have KD, so.
Yeah, and Klay Thompson.
No, Klay Thompson was there. Okay, he missed 2 games. That's the end of the world.
All right, moving on from the draft. There's another big news story that's like, kind of recent now. James Harden and Russell Westbrook, their relationship is getting pretty rumble. It's actually I shouldn't say their relationship. I mean, they just want to leave Houston, right? They want to be on their own teams and they don't want to play together necessarily. So, what do you think about that? What do you think the best destinations are for Westbrook and Harden?
Well,
I also don't.
you see on it. So I think they have a pretty good relationship. I think it's more they understand that they aren't able to play together.
Yeah.
They don't fit well together. And it's also like a realization when management starts to resign and their coach gets fired and they're like, okay, we don't have any chance of winning a title here. We should probably get out of here. And for Russell Westbrook, as you can see, I think New York would be a good spot for him. But to be honest, I don't think any team is a good spot for Russell Westbrook. I don't think there's a team in the NBA that really thinks that they can win a championship with Russell Westbrook as their leader. That's just my personal opinion. But I don't think there's a team.
I agree with that. I mean, I think New York it would be bad for New York, but it would be good for Westbrook if he went to New York because he'd be in the East, which is obviously the easier conference. So he'd get a chance to like just be the star, run the show in the mecca of basketball, and they'd make the playoffs. Like they'd be, I don't know, like I'd say maybe 6th seed or something, right? And like that would definitely make him look good. But I think for New York, like you have so much like salary space, right? I would rather just stay up for next summer and get like 2 big free agents as opposed to like getting Westbrook's kind of super overpriced contract. But
Okay, also Westbrook isn't the player he used to be when he was in OKC. like he's getting worse and he's not like he's missing a lot of his threes. He's airballing everything, and he's just like shooting every shot that he thinks is a good shot.
Yeah. I mean, also with a player like him, like the older you get, the more or the less athletic you get, right? So
And he's starting to get past his prime. He's already 32 years old.
right.
He has a future as a leader of a team for NBA championship.
He could be like a second, third player in the team.
I agree with that. I think third player, like a nice, like a playoff Rondo type player. Like obviously he's better than Rondo, but if you can like bring that energy, like being third player, like definitely, I can see winning a championship. But as the primary player, I don't see it happening. But I think like other interesting question now is like people are saying Harden might actually be on the move from Houston, and a lot of people are saying that Philadelphia is an option because Daryl Morey, the former GM of the Rockets, he's the GM of the Sixers now, and I don't know. I could definitely see a Ben Simmons Harden trade.
Also, that would be very helpful because maybe Joel Embiid will stop ball hogging the ball. He's like another superstar.
I know this isn't a popular opinion, but I think a good chance, not a good chance, but I think a good place for Harden to go is San Antonio, which I know no one's ever said this, but I think based on the lineup that they have with DeMar DeRozan at small forward, they can have LaMarcus Aldridge as center, and then they can have James Harden, and they could be supporting James Harden, and he could be taught by Greg Popovich how to play the game around that, like help like incorporate the.
Yeah, but what does San Antonio have to give to Houston?
They could make it to the playoffs.
They can give Rudy Gay,
Really good for James Harden.
Derek White, and draft picks. They have a couple good draft picks. They can give veterans and Marco Bellinelli.
The Rockets aren't trading Marco Bellinelli for James Harden. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying, not just him, but they can add some other things onto the trade table.
No, I mean, look, they could obviously trade the whole team and maybe get Harden. I don't know, maybe, but
not the team. I'm just saying they could.
maybe, I don't know.
They could trade it back.
What do you think? What do you think? What do you think about this Spurs trade for Harden?
Okay, so I might be a little bit biased here, right? But the only reason I might agree with them is because DeMar DeRozan, which is my favorite player, because he was on the Raptors.
Just keep in mind DeMar DeRozan's possibility in that trade. Just so you know.
I don't know if that would still be like.
I wouldn't. I mean, a lot of people are saying DeMar DeRozan to the Lakers now, but I don't think he's a good player, but I don't think his play style is suited for today's.
Yeah, it doesn't fit today's NBA.
He's a great game, but like
he's a good like playmaker kind of.
He shoots like 1-3, every 2 games.
Thing is, like they already have a player like DeMar DeRozan, like the same play style, LeBron, basically.
Right.
Like a playmaker.
No, but
it could happen.
I was saying before, like Ben Simmons, the Rockets. Like if I was the Rockets, if I was the GM there, if I was the coach, like I'd want that. Like he's a future All NBA type player, maybe MVP. He's like a Giannis type player to me. Like if he gets his own team and he can just drive to the rim, kick the ball out the shooters.
Yeah, but
like Giannis.
Would you trade James Harden just for Ben Simmons?
I mean, maybe I would add in like I don't know Josh Richardson or something, but yeah, like I would because if Harden doesn't want to be there, like you got to get something in return.
Either Harden goes somewhere else, or he has to come get another player to come to him.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna I don't think people are gonna come to Houston right now. Like
thing is, I think right now like 76ers is a really good option. Thing is, the good thing about him going to San Antonio is about like the Greg Popovich teaching him everything.
What do you guys think? Like if Embiid and James Harden were on the same team, like how far?
Maybe Joel Embiid will stop like ball hogging a little bit.
I don't think that's a good fit. Yeah, I'm trying on.
If Joel Embiid starts ball hogging because Harden is there, that would be very helpful.
I find them to both be soft players. I know it's like a bold statement, but I don't know. I feel like
They have Doc Rivers. Like I feel like Doc Rivers would be able to get them in, get them in line.
Doc Rivers is a good coach, to be honest.
He's not a coach.
I mean, he's obviously he's a good coach. He's able to get some not amazing Clippers teams like 5th seed, but I don't think he's able to coach like superstars.
I mean, he coached Kawhi, which
He
is
can coach superstars, but not multiple superstars.
I agree. He choked it up this year of
Also with the Celtics, he choked up 3-1 leagues with the
well.
Celtics.
Also, maybe the players choked up because, like, I don't know, losing
Yeah,
to
they
the
had-
Denver Nuggets like that.
They had 3 games. It wasn't only the players' fault. It was mostly it was mostly Doc Rivers' fault.
Yeah, if you're the coach, you got to be able to,
Close out that series.
Doc Rivers is not a bad coach. It's just he's not like, he's not what he used to be.
Right.
I don't think he was ever.
And he was pretty good on the Hawks though, but he played on the Hawks in like the 90s.
Yeah, I heard that the Clippers might be interested in or Kawhi is recruiting Chris Paul now. So what do you guys think about that? Like Chris Paul to the Clippers? I don't know if it's gonna happen, but you probably have to give up Paul George or some other kind of big player to get that to happen. But what do you guys think about Chris Paul?
I don't know, man. Paul George is not looking good.
Why do you say that? His playoff performance?
Yeah, but like maybe that's just 1 year time thing. I don't know. Because it just might be like he was like not used to not playing with fans or anything.
Yeah. What do you think, Eddie?
I don't know, to be honest. I don't think James Harden and it would be a good fit in 76. That's all. And Doc Rivers. I don't know. Doc Rivers isn't a good coach. I don't think.
Well, the reason I was saying Chris Paul would be a good fit on the Clippers, right? I think he'd be a good fit because like he's a Rondo type player, like I was saying before. Like he can close games, he can hit shots in those clutch situations. So if Chris Paul was on the team last year, when they were like up 17 points to Denver, all those games, right? There's no way they would have lost that series if they had a player like Chris Paul. That's why I say if he was in the Clippers, I could definitely just see them becoming like a championship team.
Right.
So
I don't know. I feel like Chris Paul would be a better fit on the Lakers. I don't know how they get him, but I just think it'd be a better fit with the Lakers.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Let's see what else we got here. Well, okay. So Eddie, you are a Warriors fan, right?
Right.
So what do you think the Warriors like in general? I know I talked about the draft a little bit. But what do you think this year for the Warriors? What do you think they can do? Can they make it to the finals?
I think they could be contenders. I think they are contenders, to be honest. Obviously, it's too early to tell because we don't know how Clay is going to be and Curry's going to be. But if I'm being honest, if they played last year, I think they could have been easily title contenders also last year. The season that just finished. I think they could have easily beaten the Lakers this year if they were all healthy. I just think the Warriors are just on a different. I don't want to sound like a bandwagon, but I just think the Warriors are better than the rest of the Western Conference.
Better than the Lakers?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
I mean, okay. First of all, I don't know about the Warriors even being, they might not even be Western Finals contenders.
Okay.
Like, the thing about the Warriors is that Steph Curry coming back from injury, like a hand injury too, that might not be good for to shooting because your hands involved in shooting.
But he came back from his injury and made 7 threes in the game. The day after the game, he came back from his.
As currently constructed, right, Eddie? I don't think the Warriors have enough to.
I think they do. I think
they have Eric Pascal as the best player off the bench. They got to get some more.
Obviously, they have to get some more. They're getting a second pick.
What
they're getting a second pick and potential. If they decide to trade for another superstar.
Okay.
How can you trade a draft pick for a superstar? That makes no sense.
I'm saying they could trade draft pick, second round, number 2 overall, and Andrew Wiggins, and they have automatically another superstar on the team. Not automatically, but they have another great player on their team.
That's the thing. It's like a lot of what ifs, right? But now I'm saying the Lakers and the Clippers, they already have like an established team, right? Established culture. So I don't know.
I think the Warriors have
Wait, can I say this?
What's up?
Can I
Go
say
ahead.
something? Okay. Also, it's because of the Warriors arena.
What about it?
It's the fans are not real. Let me just say that.
Oh, like
Yes.
like the San Francisco fans aren't real fans anymore.
Yes, but
Yes.
that isn't.
Yes, that kind of matters because it's
I
not.
agree with Danny. Like that actually really matters. So like when the Warriors used to play in Oakland, the fans would just go crazy. Like they had the We Believe fans, like all that stuff. I think the players kind of like fed off the energy. Now you have all these like Silicon Valley, like kind of just bandwagon fans that don't really understand the game like that. And I think that actually impacts winning in a way. So I definitely can see where you're coming from with that.
I agree with that. I can agree with that.
So. No, but overall, I'm pretty excited for the Warriors for the season. I think if they can, get some players like Drew Holiday, Bradley Beal would be ideal. That rhymes. I think if that could happen, like there's a chance we can make the finals. If we had Bradley Beal on that team, like the shooting would just be insane.
I don't think Bradley Beal would be good fit on the.
But they have Clay, so who would be their shooting guard?
I don't think Bradley Beal is an ideal fit on the team.
And also, who would be their shooting guard? Bradley Beal or Clay?
Or Drew Holiday. Drew Holiday would be great because he's just like an elite defender. I think you would hide Steph Curry's, questionable defense sometimes.
Yeah, but like you have Steph Curry at point guard, Clay at 2 guard. Where you put Drew Holiday?
Drew Holiday
I'll put Clay at the 3, and then I would go small ball. Like not even small ball. They have Marquise Chris.
Yeah, Marcus Chris is an elite center.
Like he's basically James Wiseman. Like that's why I don't think the Warriors going to draft James Wiseman because.
Also, James Wiseman, he's questionable. You don't know.
What?
James Wiseman, he's either gonna be like good or he's gonna be bust.
Yeah. He has a high ceiling for sure. Actually, he has a high floor too. I mean, like at worst, I don't think he'll be a bust because at worst he'll be like a guy who can run the floor and just dunk, block shots, all that good.
Like a worse Bam Adebayo.
Maybe we'll see. That's why I'm excited for the draft on Wednesday. Looking forward
Should we
to
talk about something else?
I'm going to wrap up the podcast here. Any final thoughts from you guys?
No.
So yeah, okay, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to watch us. Look forward to more episodes in the future, and hope you guys enjoyed. All right, guys. Signing off. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Peace out.